Do you want to know a slightly bigger game that I played, which feels like a long time ago now? Because I probably played through this 2 months ago and played through it in the course of a couple of days. And mostly forgotten about it, and not because it's not good, because I was already sold on Doom: The Dark Ages from how much I enjoyed Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal 2020. But I did have a bit of trepidation going into the Dark Ages, because Eternal absolutely blew me away. It was just the most insane, violent, addictive action, and I just loved every second of it. My trepidation for Doom: The Dark Ages wasn't just about whether it would be as good as Eternal or not, because honestly, it didn't need to be as good as Eternal for me to have a really, really good time with it. But I was worried that given the maximalist content of Eternal, that there was nowhere left to raise the bar in the Dark Ages. That they couldn't just make it more violent, more demons, more obscene, more blood, more hell, more guns, more everything. Because, I mean, for one, I don't think you could. And two, if you could, you'd die. So, fortunately, Bethesda came to this conclusion as well and decided to take a step, not quite backwards, but certainly sideways, and not try and match the rampant energy of Eternal, and instead forge a different experience within their Doom universe. Doomniverse, that's not a thing. That deliberately, it could be, it's not. That it deliberately takes on a very different pace to what they'd done before. The Dark Ages sees you shoot back in time in the Doom canon, I think. It could be in the future. I don't know. Maybe not. I didn't...
Just a literal canon.
Yep. Yeah,
I honestly don't know, because the game's got a bit silly these days. So
yep, you're absolutely right to question that. I don't know if you're shot back in time in a canon. I also don't know if you're shot back in time in the canon.
Yeah, but it is back in time.
Maybe it might not even be that. Honestly, I didn't even care enough to look it up. I mean, the story of this game isn't quite as good as Eternal, which actually made me care about the story in a Doom game for the first time. The Dark Ages is back to a good old-fashioned, irrelevant nonsense. All you really need to know is there's a reason demons are here. There's a reason you need to kill them. And that's enough for me. There's still elements of the maximalist to the game, as you'll now see your Doomslayer pilot a giant flying demon dragon for aerial dogfights, and also suit up in enormous giant mech suits to, like, stomp and trample cities and kaiju-style demons. Which I guess is obviously the one area they could still ramp up the game in. And it is all blissfully, stupidly fun. But the big shift in the Dark Ages comes in the form of the way it approaches movement and combat, which is a lot slower, a lot more deliberate, much more weighty, thanks in part to your new addition to your arsenal, a shield, which you can obviously use as a shield, but you can also throw it, Captain America style. Obviously, it's got spinning blades on the edge.
Yes.
But you can also use it to parry and counter attacks, which means that the combat in the game takes on a whole new type of rhythm. It just feels incredible. Like, I mean, thanks in part to the amazing, like, DualSense controller and all of the feedback that you're getting from that, and the the
adaptive triggers.
Adaptive triggers, and all of the resistance you get from those. Every parry, every counter then you make with a shotgun, every ram you batter, honestly, it's just amazing. Like, it's a great new direction for the series. It doesn't supersede what came before with, like, you know, Eternal's rampant parade of chainsaws and flamethrowers and explosives, but it's instead created something different and equally as cool to play. The traversal and exploration in Dark Ages has had a bit of a change of pace as well. Like, it's more stripped back and I don't know, heavy, maybe? Maybe it's, you can't double jump, so maybe you just feel heavier. And you don't, like, fling yourself all over a stage like you were doing in Eternal. It's still good fun to explore these levels, but it is a side of the game that I was a bit disappointed in, because, like, going back through and exploring all of the levels to find all of the secrets and unlock everything was one of the biggest joys in Doom Eternal. And, I mean, I absolutely didn't have the same compulsion, you know, to do that here.
Not even on the dragon.
Not even on the dragon. The campaign of the Dark Ages runs about, I don't know, a fairly trippy 15 hours, maybe. without that sense of like wanting to go and 100% it did sort of leave me feeling a little bit shortchanged, because I happily doubled that time in Eternal, and I think that maybe in like refining some elements of the formula, they maybe threw a little bit of baby out with the bathwater. Again, not literally, but maybe.
Possibly in the
I miss having like the sort of the hub where you could manage upgrades and go back through levels. I miss finding cheats to add on to make revisiting levels even more absurd and fun. I miss fast traveling around stages. Lots of things that Eternal did brilliantly that just aren't matched here. And they're not, to be fair, they're not attempting to match it. They're doing something different. And, you know, as we famously say, I can't criticize a game for being something different to what I want it to be, because that's not the game. But then also, and I can go and play Doom Eternal if I want. You know, whatever. All in all, though, The Dark Ages is a fantastic Doom game. It's a fantastic first-person shooter. I didn't think it was going to match up to Eternal, and it didn't. But that doesn't mean it's not a great game, you know? That's the thing. It's like I say with every Metroidvania. It's like, it's not Eterna Noctis, but what is?